Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to my kitchen. I am Ashley Thomas. I'm a registered dietitian and the host of Cook With Me TV, which is a live interactive cooking show where you cook along with me in your own kitchen. So don't just watch me cook, but actually cook along with me. What I'm here to do is show you how to make a delicious and nutritious dinner in under 30 minutes. And so tonight I'm really excited to be sharing this recipe with you. A couple of crazy things happened earlier today, which I'll talk about in just a second. But if you are cooking with me, go ahead and get out all of your ingredients. So that's going to be your gnocchi. It's also going to be your broccoli, your sun-dried tomatoes, your garlic. You're also going to want some eggs. So however many eggs you plan on putting on top of this dish, some red chili flake, and then you're going to want to get out your fry pan and a pot of water. So what we're making tonight is pan-fried gnocchi, and if you're not familiar with gnocchi, it is a classic Italian dish, and it's made of potato essentially. So gnocchi are these little pillow-like wonderful bites of potato mixed with dough that we're going to pan fry up with some broccoli, some sun-dried tomatoes, some garlic. Oh, you're also going to want to get out a lemon, which I kind of forgot mine, so I'm just going to grab mine real quick. And this is, I'm calling it Tuscan gnocchi because Tuscan cooking uses they don't use a lot of sauces. It's very light and fresh tasting. And so olive oil, garlic, and lemon are going to be the major flavor enhancers to our dish tonight. So we're keeping things a little bit on the lighter side, and it's going to be delicious. Hello, everyone. Hey, Shelly. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lindsay. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Hey, Kim. How are ya? It's been beautiful here in Peoria, hasn't it? It's like 50 degrees is beautiful here. It's been some nice fall weather. I was getting scared there for a little bit, thinking that we missed fall and we were just jumping straight into winter. So I took a nap earlier today and I woke up about an hour and a half ago realizing that I forgot to get gnocchi at the grocery store. And I was like, oh shoot, I don't feel like going to the grocery store, but I know I have potatoes, I have flour, I have eggs, and I have salt. I've made gnocchi once before in my life, so I quickly looked up a recipe, and I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with how it turned out. To give you an idea of how I felt going into this, I was kind of scared to make the gnocchi. I was like, maybe I should just go to the grocery store real quick and buy it. I also woke up really grumpy from my nap today, so I just was not feeling like I was actually going to be able to execute this successfully. But I have to say, they came out really well. So I had sweet potatoes. So I used sweet potato gnocchi. And I cooked them in the microwave, the sweet potatoes, for about 10 minutes, cut them in half lengthwise, scooped out the meat from the skin, let it cool, mashed it up, added some whole wheat flour, some salt, and 2 eggs, and just kind of worked the dough until it felt right. I don't really know what it's supposed to feel like. So if I can do it, you can do it. And then you roll out each piece into about 1 inch thick, and you cut them into little dough-like gnocchi pieces. And you can use a fork to roll them out and make them look all fancy, like the gnocchi that you buy at the grocery store, but I didn't have time for all that. So hopefully these turn out well. If you're cooking with me tonight, you're likely using prepackaged gnocchi, which I use all the time, so it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Let's see. Michelle is saying, I made this Korean beef veggie stuff tonight. It was so good, but spicy. Very, very spicy. My poor mouth. Oh my gosh. And if I remember correctly, you don't do well with spice. That's okay. You learn, right? You live and learn. You cook and learn. So next time you just won't add as much spice. But Korean beef veggie stuff, that sounds pretty good. Sounds delicious. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. So what we're gonna do first is let's get our pot of water on the stove because we are going to put a soft-boiled egg on top of this gnocchi just to introduce a little extra protein today. So I have my pot of water in the back here filled up. Let's go ahead and we'll turn that heat on to high. Just kind of get that boiling. And then what we'll do is we'll drop those eggs in one at a time and cook them for about 6 minutes to get a nice soft boil on them. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already. And then what we'll do next is, this is going to be a two-part thing. So we want to pan fry or saute our gnocchi separately from the broccoli and the sun-dried tomatoes, because we just want to make sure that we get a nice crisp on the outside of those gnocchi. And if we crowd the pan with a bunch of other things, it's harder to achieve that. So we will do let's do the gnocchi first, and then we'll do the broccoli. So go ahead and preheat your pan here, about medium heat, and drizzle some of your oil in here. You can also use half and half olive oil and butter. The butter will brown up nicely and give your gnocchi a nice little browning. But what we are going to do is saute some garlic with the gnocchi. So let's go ahead and chop up about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. And we're going to use another 2 or 3 cloves when we do the broccoli. Lindsay says, I'm mixing up gingerbread cookie dough. So close to cooking with you. That sounds so good. So are you going to shape your gingerbread cookies into fun shapes? Also, can I just say real quick how big I feel like I'm getting, for those of you who know that I'm pregnant? Look at this. I feel like this just popped out of nowhere. It's great. I'm entering the 3rd trimester this upcoming week, so it's very, very exciting. Whoop. So we're just going to break open these garlic cloves, and we're just going to slice them. And we're going to throw them right in the pan immediately with that oil. Cook them for just like a minute. Kind of helps to flavor the oil there with some garlic, so that once the gnocchi are cooked in that oil, they also taste a little garlicky as well. So let me know if you are cooking with me tonight. Also, has anybody else ever made gnocchi before? Like homemade gnocchi? I'm pretty surprised at how easy it was, although, you know, it's not said and done yet, right? I still have to cook it. It could be a complete, total mushy mess. So we'll see. I'm feeling pretty good about it, though. Okay, we're going to throw this in our pan. Oh, yeah. Give it a little stir. Let's cook this for about a minute, and then we'll go ahead and add our gnocchi. If you're doing, depending on how big your pan is, you might need to do your gnocchi in 2 different batches. I am definitely going to have to do 2 different batches because I've got quite a bit here. So I'm probably going to throw about half of this in with that garlic. And what we're going to do is we're going to just saute it. So you want to make sure that you don't leave it sitting in the pan long enough to let it burn on each side, but you also don't want to try and like mix it too soon. Otherwise you risk ripping your gnocchi, especially if it's fresh made gnocchi. I will say the store-bought stuff is much hardier, so it's going to be a lot harder to destroy the pre-made stuff. Hey Lucy, good to see you. Michelle is saying, I made gnocchi before while at Veritas. It was fun. How cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that they cooked there. That's great. Shelly, you look amazing, and babies are so fun. You'll love every second of being a mom. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's getting more real every day. Lindsay, I think I attempted gnocchi years ago, but it turned out into a mushy mess. Let's hope that doesn't happen tonight. All right. So this garlic has been in here for about a minute. I'm going to go ahead and throw some gnocchi in here. These are so soft right now. I'm so worried I'm going to ruin them. And then while your gnocchi are cooking, I'm going to try to just go back and forth between cutting broccoli on the cutting board and paying attention to the gnocchi. I know what you're thinking. Ashley, are you sure you really should do that? I've seen this happen before. You burn things. Let's just give it a try. It'll be fine. Okay. We'll let those hang out for just a minute. See if we can give you some more light there. Addie still remembers you too. She smiles when she sees you on the lives when I have her. Aw, is she with you now? If so, hi Addie. She's adorable. Hey Pat, I'm just watching, but having grown up in very Italian New Haven, it was a staple in every household, peasant food. Yeah, because potatoes and flour were very affordable, right? I love how peasant food in other countries is it's some of the most delicious food that you can have. It really is. Like shakshuka was considered peasant food. The eggs that are cooked in tomatoes and peppers and onions, so good. Simple, but so delicious. Okay, so then for our broccoli, go ahead and cut off the bottom inch of your broccoli stem, just because that part gets a little fibrous and chewy. We don't really want that. And so we're just gonna chop our broccoli into bite-sized pieces. So you can kind of start by chopping the stems into coins like this, and then come through and cut your florets into little trees. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just trying to keep them all about the same size so they cook the same. And if you wanted to make this go even a little faster, you could buy the pre-cut broccoli in the produce section of the grocery store. You could use frozen broccoli florets as well. I haven't done that in this recipe, but you absolutely could do that. And we are going to add a little spice to this tonight. So we're going to be using red chili flake. If that's something that you don't like, then leave it out. You don't have to use it. We are going to top it off with some parsley, some fresh parsley, which actually I need to grab that, as well as some fresh or dried rosemary. Just keep an eye on those gnocchi back there. They look okay. Cut broccoli into happy little trees. Yes. Cut those broccoli into happy little trees. I love when I see that written on a recipe, because everybody understands what that means. If you're new to cooking, you might not understand what a floret is. So maybe that should just be the standard word in recipes for broccoli. I'm on board with that. Again, the beauty of cooking is that you don't have to stick to a recipe. So maybe you have all of these ingredients at home except the broccoli, but maybe you have zucchini, or you have cauliflower, or carrots. You have some other kind of vegetable. Just substitute the broccoli in this recipe with any other vegetable, and you're good to go. Squash would be really good in this, especially now that squash season is here. So like acorn squash, butternut squash, delicata squash. So many wonderful options. Okay, let's check on these gnocchi. Oh, yes. They are frying up. This is beautiful, wonderful. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna cook them for a few minutes longer. It looks like my water's boiling. If yours is also boiling, go ahead and lift the lid and drop those eggs in. I like to drop my eggs in with a slotted spoon or a ladle. Let's do a ladle. You can do 2 at one time. These eggs are kind of small. That way they don't come crashing to the bottom of the pot and they don't break open. Once you get them in, and if you definitely want a soft boiled egg where the outside is hard or cooked like a hard boiled egg, but the inside is a little bit runny, go ahead and set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm gonna do that real quick. Set the timer on my phone. 5 minutes. Whoop, reset that. Whoop, not 50 minutes. Cool. And then once that timer goes off, take them out of the water. The best thing to do is to submerge them into an ice bath to stop the cooking immediately and keep them the consistency that they are. So if you want to do that, go ahead and get just a big bowl of cold water, put some ice in there. You know what? I'm actually going to do that. Let's see. I'm just going to use a little container. Just use a little container here. Put some ice in it. Fill it with some water. And we'll throw our eggs in there when they're done. Wonderful. Stir this again. And I don't know if you can see it on here, but I've got some nice browning on these gnocchi. And because the potato is cooked, you don't need to cook them for very long. You've got some flour in there, which the heat will help to cook the flour out, but they really only need about 6 to 7 minutes total. Lindsay is saying, and cauliflower is snow-covered trees. Oh my gosh, I have never heard that. I like that a lot. That's a good one. I'll be telling Olivia that one. Trees and snow-covered trees. Can you and Lindsay do a Christmas live online? How you add someone to a live and you both do Christmas live? Yes, we could do it, but it would have to be like split screen style because we don't live near each other anymore. But we could do that. Let's talk about that. That would be fun. That would be fun. I wonder what we would make. Christmas cookies could be fun. What kind of Christmas cookies do you like? Well, obviously you're making gingerbread cookies. Is that your favorite Christmas cookie? I'm not a baker, but I can get down with some Christmas cookies. Hey, Matt. Welcome. Good to see you. These are looking good. All right. I think I'm going to just do 1 minute longer and then I'm going to pull them. So I'm going to grab another bowl just to keep them in for the time being. And we've got 2 minutes left on those eggs. Okay, let's go ahead and take these guys out and we'll put our second batch of gnocchi in. And before you put your second batch of gnocchi in, go ahead and pour just another tiny drizzle of olive oil. You don't need as much as the first time because you've still got some in your pan right now, but it does help with the browning process. And you also might still have some garlic bits left over too. Perfect. And then once you get your gnocchi situated. Oh, one thing I meant to mention, if you are using packaged gnocchi, you definitely want to break them apart. They stick together in the package, kind of like mine are right now. Break them apart before you throw them in the pan because it's just harder to break them apart once they're in. I should have taken my own advice, but that's what that reminded me of. What else is Christmassy? I don't know. I feel like Christmas cookies is a good one. Although, come on. Okay, these look good. So while this batch is cooking, let's go ahead and get our sun-dried tomatoes out of the jar, and we are going to chop them up. Actually, I'm taking that back because I think the timer has 18 seconds. So real quick, let's just hold off on that. Oh, Lindsay says cookies were my first thought. Yes, cookies. I'm making a dozen Christmas treats this weekend. I have lots of favorites. What else are you making? I have to know. Okay, there's the timer. Oh, maybe we decorate cookies. That could be fun. That could be very fun. Okay, I'm turning off my back burner. I'm getting the eggs out and putting them into a water bath here. Ice bath. Hi, Kiki. My sous chef decided to make an appearance tonight. Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna let these guys hang out, cool down. Hopefully they're easier to peel in doing this step. Yes, you should decorate cookies. We could get so fun with that too. Do you have like different cookie cutter shapes? We used to. I think we got rid of a lot of them. Oh, chocolate dipped pretzels. Those are good. Those are some of my favorite too, Shelly. Love that. Love that. Oh. Then you should get others to decorate cookies and send pics to the page. Oh, that's a great idea. Do a compilation of decorated Christmas cookies. And then maybe like tips on how they did it too, because I'm sure there's some people who are experts at decorating cookies. I am not one of them because I'm not usually a baker. So I would like some pointers on how to do that. Okay, so let's get sun-dried tomatoes. We want about 1/2 cup of these chopped. So depending on how big your sun-dried tomatoes are, will determine how much you need. You could get a measuring cup out, and once you chop them up, throw them in that measuring cup just to see. Or just kind of wing it, eyeball it. You could do more if you really love sun-dried tomatoes like me, or you could do less if you could take them or leave them. I'm gonna just do the rest of this jar because I used half of this jar last week. Also, quick tip, definitely save the oil that's in the bottom of the jar here. It's really flavorful and you can use that in cooking. This part gets a little messy with all the oil, just FYI, but just run your knife through. They can feel a little squirrely to cut. They want to kind of slip around under your knife. So just be mindful of that so you don't cut yourself. I'm kind of rocking my knife twice on each cut just to make sure I'm getting through these sun-dried tomatoes. Oh yeah. I love sun-dried tomatoes so much. They add so much wonderful flavor. Concentrated flavor of tomatoes. Very sweet. Oh no, I gotta turn this heat down. I'm slightly burning these beautiful gnocchi. Surprise, surprise, right? Hey, Tommy! Tommy Mitchell, everyone. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are making Tuscan gnocchi with broccoli, sun-dried tomatoes, and a nice little soft-boiled egg to go on top. Lindsay is saying gingerbread cookies, vanilla almond biscotti. I love biscotti so much. I would probably do one of those. Starbucks copycat cranberry bliss bars. Ooh, yum. Chocolate dipped pistachio shortbread. What? Peppermint dark chocolate macaroons. Oh, that sounds delicious. I love mint and chocolate together. Eggnog macaroons, chocolate crinkles, and maybe toffee. Wait, are you doing all of that right now? That sounds like so much. Kudos to you. Do you have Christmas music playing in the background? Are you wearing a Christmas sweater while you're baking these cookies? I wish Facebook let you post a photo in the comment section of live stream, but they don't, because then you could show me exactly what's going on over there right now. They make tools to help make the icing smooth for specialty sugar cookies. You want more liquid icing, not regular icing. Okay. See, that's the department that I would need help in, is the icing game, which I don't even know if I'm going to go there. I think I'll just dip a bunch of things in chocolate and call it done. All right, these gnocchi are almost done. Once they're done, like I said, we are going to start with our broccoli. But the first thing we're going to do is there's some bits and pieces of the gnocchi and some garlic stuck to the bottom of the pan here. So what we want to do is deglaze that, and we're going to do that with our lemon and a little bit of chicken stock. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of those things out. And we're going to just do half of a lemon for right now. And we're going to do about a cup of the chicken stock, or sorry, a half of a cup of the chicken stock. So if you are cooking with me, go ahead and get out that lemon and that chicken stock. And if your gnocchi are looking like mine, let's go ahead and get those out of the pan. Let them hang out with the other guys that are done. The other guys that are just chilling, waiting to be mixed with everything else. Because what we're going to do is throw the gnocchi back in with everything else. Also, if you're like me and you maybe have some bits of burnt garlic at the bottom here, go ahead and just toss those. No need to keep them. They're just going to spread their nasty burnt flavor all throughout the rest of the dish, and we don't want that. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to get these burnt garlic bits out of here. Okay. So let's go ahead. Like I said, we're going to do about half of a cup of our chicken stock. Just pour it right in. The pan will sizzle because it's quite hot. Woo! Ooh, how's that for entertainment? Okay, and then real quick, let's go ahead and cut our lemon in half, and we'll squeeze half of it in there. I'm gonna use my hand underneath to catch the seeds so we don't get any crazy seeds in there. Not a big deal if you do, just try to fish them out, or just warn your guests that there may be lemon seeds in their dish. However you want to approach that. Okay, looking good. Lindsay, I was listening to Christmas music until Cook With Me started. Obviously, this takes priority. I love it. I'm sorry that I can't have Christmas music playing on here for you. One day we'll get the music. And no Christmas sweater. I've got my game face on making all these. I'm wearing my chef's coat. Nice. You would. I'm making about half of them today. I only have so many bowls and spoons, so I'm maxed out. Yeah, that's one thing that I hate about baking is just all of the dishes, but I guess it's kind of the same thing with cooking. People say the same thing about cooking. I just don't want to clean all the dishes, but it's worth it. Is it not? It's totally worth it. So if you do have some bits of gnocchi or garlic stuck to the bottom of your pan, go ahead and use your spoon and just kind of scrape them up. This deglazing process works especially well when you're cooking meat and you have meat pieces stuck to the bottom of the pan, because all of that fat and meat is going to develop lots of flavor for your sauce. And so we're kind of doing the same thing here. Okay, and what we're going to do is throw our broccoli and our sun-dried tomatoes in. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to cook all of the veggies together. We're also going to do another 3 cloves of garlic. So go ahead, excuse me, and chop those or slice those and get those into your pan. sun-dried tomatoes. You can also add your herbs at this point. So if you're doing your fresh or your dried, hold off on adding the fresh parsley. That is going to be added at the end. Yum. Let me give my hands a rinse real quick. The sun-dried tomatoes kind of get all over the place. Okay, so while that's coming up to a heat, like I said, let's go ahead and get our garlic going. Another couple pieces of garlic here. I like to go for the big cloves. They're easier to peel, and you get a lot more out of them, obviously, because they're bigger. Whoop. Just peel those skins off. My grandma used to make pizzelles. Is anybody familiar with pizzelles? They're like a very basic, it's kind of like, it's basically like a sugar cookie with licorice flavor. So like star anise is used in it. And they're super flat. And there's like a special cookie iron that you use that gives them like a nice little intricate design on the inside. Those are fun. Maybe I'll do those too. That would be fun. Get out the old pizzelle machine, which is in the attic somewhere probably. Okay, let's throw the garlic in. Let's season everything with a little bit of salt and pepper. Stir it all up. I'm going to grab the rosemary. I didn't pick some fresh rosemary before I came over here. Hey, Kathleen. What's going on, girlfriend? So I think I'm going to just use, some Italian seasoning. See how we improvise. Or maybe just some oregano. Okay. And as I mentioned, we're going to hold off on the parsley. So let's just stir this broccoli here. Let it cook for a few minutes. And cook it for, however long you want to, depending on how you like your broccoli cooked. Some people like it fully cooked where it's pretty soft. But if you don't like that and you like to have a little bit of bite, then don't cook it for as long, of course. I like mine with a little bit of bite, so I'm just going to cook it for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. And so while this is cooking, for those 5 minutes, more or less, I'm going to use that time to peel my eggs. Oh, Lindsay loves pizzelles, but I don't have the press. Yeah. See, I never know. Most people I know are not familiar with pizzelles at all. Here we go. Remember last time I peeled eggs on the show? It was kind of a disaster. These are proving to be much more compliant. And you know what? It must be the ice bath. Beautiful. Look at that. I like to rinse them in water too once they're peeled, because sometimes there's some shell that hangs on. So hopefully, what we do, 6 minutes? Hopefully this is a nice soft boil where the middle is still a little soft, not a full-on hard-boiled egg where the inside is a little too dry. like to have a little bit of softness in that yolk. And for gnocchi, because it is, so we're hitting up all of the components, right, of a balanced meal tonight. We've got our complex carbohydrate coming from the gnocchi. Again, it's made with potato and flour, if you're not familiar. We've got vegetables coming from the broccoli. We've got protein with the eggs. If you want to bulk it up a little bit more, if you don't want to fill up completely on gnocchi, you could totally serve a side salad with this. Even something as simple as some mixed greens that are dressed with olive oil and lemon, just to kind of keep with that light Tuscan type flavor. And there you have it. And so for those of you who are just tuning in, I homemade my gnocchi tonight. I'm pretty impressed with myself, I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna rinse these eggs real quick, get the shells off. Beautiful. So this is 1 egg per person. You could, of course, do however many eggs you want on yours. Let's go ahead. I can hear the, oh, Pat saying, I love pizzelles too, but my favorite are pinoles. Wait, I think I know what that is, but I can't remember. Can you describe the cookie? Am I even saying it right? Pinoles? Pinoles? I don't know. Right, this is looking good. And if you find that you have more bits of things that are stuck to the bottom, like the sun-dried tomatoes will oftentimes stick to the bottom, go ahead and just pour either a little more lemon juice or a little more of the stock in there to get that up. And so I'm gonna do that real quick with just a little bit more. I'm gonna do the lemon. The lemon will be nice. Cool. And then I'm gonna turn the heat off because this is done. I think I need a little bit more liquid though. That lemon didn't quite cut it. I'm gonna pour a little bit more chicken stock in just to deglaze that pan. One last time. Also makes for easier cleanup too. Awesome. Okay. So now what we can do is put the heat on low, and we're going to throw the gnocchi back in and just warm everything up thoroughly. Combine everything together. And you're looking for kind of like a half and half, a 1-to-1 ratio of gnocchi to vegetable or broccoli. And so that means that you might not use all of your gnocchi, and that's okay, because you can save some for later and whip up another batch with a different vegetable, or you can also top gnocchi in so many different ways. You could use a basic red sauce. So one thing that I like to do with leftover gnocchi is to keep it for a super quick dinner. Just pour some red sauce over it, put a little bit of cheese on it, and call it dinner. Maybe serve it with a side salad if you want to. You could also just do a very basic olive oil and lemon juice squeeze on top of the gnocchi. There's lots of people who like to use gnocchi and just dip each little bite into sauce of some sort. Oh my. I'm pretty surprised at how well these came out, given my madness before the show. Ooh, pine nut cookies. Okay. Pinoles. Pinoles. Am I saying that right? Is that Italian? What is that? I love pine nuts. Okay. Turn this heat off. Everything should be warmed through. And then We'll go ahead and serve this up in a bowl with our egg on top. We will also do our parsley on top as well. Just gonna tear off a little bit of the parsley here. Give it a quick rough chop where there is no egg shell, which is kind of hard to find on my cutting board right now. I'm just gonna move some stuff over there. This is one messy cutting board, but you know, that's how it goes. Just roll with it. Throw your parsley in, give it a toss. Ooh, yeah. Oh, so pretty. I have to say, the sweet potato gnocchi, I think I might like it better than the stuff I bought at the store the other day. Okay, we'll grab a bowl, put our gnocchi in. This is one of those fun meals. Sometimes David will say, can we have something fun for dinner? Not exactly sure what that says about the majority of my cooking, because it must not be that fun if there are special requests for fun dinners. But we all get in that rut of cooking the same thing over and over. Tried and true recipes, it's just kind of like, why bother? Why bother experimenting with something else right now? Oh yes, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful little soft-boiled egg. Oh, look at that. It's gonna be so good. Just place that on top. Sprinkle it with, I put in the recipe sunflower seeds. You can sprinkle this with some sunflower seeds just to add some added crunch in there. But other than that, nice pillowy gnocchi with broccoli, sun-dried tomato. Just realized I forgot the red chili flake, but that's okay because there's someone here at home who doesn't like spice, so he will be pleased that that is not in the dish. I'm going to grab a fork and try this so I can let you know how good it is. I've already tried the gnocchi and I told you it was delicious, so let's get some broccoli in there too, though. The lemon and the sun-dried tomato are such a nice fresh pop of flavor. And so this is just a really nice light dish. Gnocchi is typically heavy. If you eat a lot of gnocchi, it's going to feel heavy. So that's why I tried it. That's why I say to try to cook this dish doing a 1-to-1 ratio of vegetable to gnocchi. So you don't eat just a bunch of gnocchi and then you walk away feeling like super tired and lethargic and full. Helps to balance it out. This is a good one, y'all. Yay, Michelle is saying it looks absolutely amazing. You should totally try it. So the ingredients will be listed on the event video itself. So you can just come back and grab the ingredients from the video description, follow along with the video, and enjoy it at home. So thanks y'all for tuning in, for sticking with me, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next week. Check the schedule. I'll also be posting what you need for next week's show, but in the meantime, enjoy and be well. See you guys later. Bye.